There it is. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the next episode or episodes of Sitting Tall with me, Tony Chamberlain, and my boy.
Casey Ellen.
Hey, and we got somebody special on here today. I gotta say, I didn't know much about you before, like we started this thing, but like I read into you and I looked into some of your stuff, and I gotta say it's amazing the things that you do. And I'm gonna introduce you like you need to be introduced. Here we go. So let's start this thing. Here we go. Let's see. Not only is our next guest a motivational speaker, entrepreneur, sports analyst, and author, but he is also an amazing human being. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Eric LeGrand. Welcome,
Oh,
Eric.
like the drum roll out here with that one.
I had to speak easy on that, man. I was like, this is a big guest right now. I got to tell you, Eric, you're definitely one of our biggest guests so far, and I'm excited to have you on here and talk about like, life and all the stuff that you've been doing lately.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to shooting it up with you guys.
And this has been years in the making, I feel, with me and Eric. I feel like we've been going back and forth on the gram now for quite some time. And it's been great. I'm really happy that we're actually finally get to put voices and all that to rest. And it's just, I don't know, just before we logged on, one of the things, if you look in the top corner behind my ear there, we'll see a little bottle. We'll talk about that a little later. And I just, for people who might not know, Eric is kind of like OG, triple OG in the quad. For at least for me, that's my quad father. That's what I'm gonna call it.
Quad father, I like that.
That's the name I'm gonna give you, Eric. This has been dubbed now. We just got baptized, and I'm
about to bring us to church, right?
If we gotta go, we can go to church if we like,
That's a cool name. A quad father I never heard. So I'll use that one. I like that.
Yeah, you're the quad. Listen, man, you're the
quad squad, but not quad.
Oh, the quad squad. Yeah, because I always talk about like the quad paws, because like the hand, you know what I'm saying? So that kind of just came to me, the quad father. I just kind of went off that. That was just magical in the moment right there.
No, that's awesome, man.
Hell,
all right.
So
yeah,
bring it in, Tom.
All right, so yeah, let's start this off. Maybe just tell us a little bit about yourself, Eric, for people that don't know what happened and where everything is today. Just give us like a brief summary.
Yeah, you can start us up a little bit even before the because
anything, man. How you started football, whatever,
Rutgers defensive tackle, special teams. But I watched some film I feel like I was film prepping coming into this. I watched a lot of tape.
For sure, yeah. I was a former Rutgers football player from 2008 until my injury in 2010. As my junior year, I was playing at MetLife Stadium and right here in New Jersey. So it was the fourth quarter of a game. Ran down on a kickoff to make a tackle, and I put my head down thinking it wasn't going to be an attack. I thought I was going to hit Malcolm Brown, the player from the Army Black Knights, with my shoulder, and he got tripped up, and the crown of my head went into the back of Malcolm's shoulder blade. And next thing you know, I was laying on the turf, paralyzed, fracturing my C3, C4 vertebrae, and I didn't know where my life was going to take me. The prognosis was grim in the very beginning, but, since my journey, 12 and a half years ago, it's definitely been a journey, but a lot of support and a lot of things to be thankful for and blessed for the things I'm doing in my life. But life changed instantly in a matter of a second, but not letting this injury hold me back from anything.
Awesome, man. That's awesome there.
Love that, bro.
So yeah, like I said, injury doesn't always define us either. So like I was trying to talk to Casey about this. I'd like to know a little bit about person, man. Like what's your like life, man? Like what do you see yourself like in the injury? Like injury doesn't define us, right? We tend to like have a vision in our mind of like we want to go and what we want to do. And I can go for days about your accomplishments, which we will. We'll talk about more of your like, your coffee shop, your whiskey. I love all that stuff. But like I want to know the person, man. I want to know Eric.
Me as a person, I like to make people feel good, feel better about themselves, always be that life of the party. When I enter the room, the light comes on, it's time to shine type of person. Just make people feel good, joke around, have fun. A lot of people, sometimes you see my stuff on social media, but I like to, some a little bit more than just business stuff, me joke around. Casey and I were just talking about before we even jumped on here, me singing in Spanish or Italian and posting videos, just showing my personality. But that's who I am. I promised myself when I was 20 years old I wasn't going to let this injury define me. God willing, I lived for many more years after that I wasn't going to let me be bitter, a controversial person. That's just never be who I am. And, I just love to be able to have fun, enjoy life, make people smile, and live life to the fullest. That's who I am. I wake up every day happy.
I love
That's
it,
it,
man.
man.
I love it.
That's it. A lot of people, and people need to hear that. You know what I mean? Just
Hmm.
because we have so much going on in our lives, on our plates, just waking up is tough. Like, Eric and I, sure, we have similar sort of routines in the morning where we have to get basically everything taken care of for ourselves. Like we can't do anything, and like very humbling and very like for us to still have smiles on our faces and still go on. Like people need to know it's like, hey, like life might hit you sometimes, but you just got to smile through it. That's basically I've been doing for the last 10 years. I've been just trying to laugh. Like you always post little videos because I could just tell like just watching you always having like a daddy yank, or it's just like we were just talking. You just saying a little Italian for Ed Sheeran, and it's just and stuff like that is just like it's just I love it. It's just
Brings a smile to your face, right?
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like we have like our dark moments, but like just seeing stuff like it just brings a smile, man. It just makes you like his life, man. Like
It's funny too because my friends and my family who are around me, they rip me. They're like, "E, I don't know why you do that. You can't sing." I post that video and I got people hyping me up like, "No, I can't sing. I know it." I go out there and I just put out there. People are like, "Wow, that was so good." I'm like, "Hey, y'all keep on hyping me up. I'm gonna keep going."
Watch out now.
My family's smacking their head like, "Oh my god."
like why is everybody hyping this man up?
We're gonna have to add singer to the title of everything else that we introduced him as. You know what I mean? And that's awesome, man. I love playing around like that. Just because you can't do something well doesn't mean you shouldn't do it at all. As long as it brings you joy, right? It's all good, man.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Don't you
Hey,
doubt my
hey, hey!
man's talent here.
You need to stop it. I'm just going
Doing
off of what he said. I,
doing
I
it
I'm
well,
not
man.
saying anything.
You have a beautiful voice, and I love hearing it. And
Keep it coming.
please fucking keep doing it. That's my shit. That's my. I
I'm gonna
favorite
keep
those
going.
videos every time I stroll by.
I'm gonna keep going and see. There it is.
That's I'm gonna be the one who your family's just like, God damn it, no, another one.
Exactly. Like,
He's doing another one right now.
What? It's like all these people keep making me think he's a singer now. But yeah, like we mentioned a little bit earlier, I feel like after I don't know if tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like after your injury and you figured out like you're going on prognosis, I feel like you said before you didn't let it define you, and you're just out here just doing things and inspiring people. And because I know you have your your Team LeGrand Believe Foundation, like you pivoted to opening a coffee shop, and now you have your whiskey, like you see in the corner up there. Like you just you took your injury and like for lack of a better words, like you ran with it. Like you took it and you were like, this ain't stopping shit, and I'm gonna, if I want to do something, I'm gonna do it. Like, where did you always have like that motivational drive in you?
yeah, I did always have that motivational drive, and it was more focused on football for the first, 20 years of my life. Well, 15 playing football. That's where
Yeah,
my drive was towards, and I was very determined. I was never a person that missed the weight room. Like when I commit to something, I always see it through. So that's just kind of how I was. That my injury happened, and obviously I wasn't going to be playing football anymore. So I kind of had to shift that mindset into transition into things that I wanted to do and wanted to learn about. And one was starting a foundation with the Christopher and Dana Reed Foundation in the fall of 2013 with Team LeGrand. That was be 10 years in September. To then, as I started to get into my motivational speaking and sports broadcasting, I wanted more, especially during the pandemic. I was just trying to think of what more can I do to bring happiness into this world compared to all the craziness, what was going on. And my mind started circling, listening to audiobooks, and I've never been one to back down from anything. So even if I don't know something and someone tells me I'm crazy, well, best believe I'm going to prepare myself and educate myself. And it's something I want to do and I'm passionate about. You're not going to hold me back from doing it. So that's what led into the coffee shop and then the whiskey.
yeah, that's awesome, man. I feel like I kind of have like a similar kind of drive like that. I feel like I didn't play Division 1 sports like yourself, but like I feel like we always kind of have a guest usually always has a little athleticism that we always talk about with Tony. I feel like athletes kind of like we just have a different mentality and a different mindset, and like
Hmm.
we try to like we'll see something, we'll attack a goal, and we try to achieve that goal. And like I feel like some people don't have that. Like they'll like meander around, get a little lazy, but like I feel like being an athlete, like you played 15 years of football, and then you played football at the highest level. So that motivation, like I'm sure afterwards you were probably itching to put all this energy and this mind to work, you know, and
It's the
that's what you're doing.
consistency. It's the
Yeah.
consistency. A lot of times people want to do something But after that newness goes away, that feeling of it being new, they
Yeah.
stop and go on to the next thing and being able to it's not staying disciplined and staying focused on the task at hand and finishing what you started. I think
Mhm.
that's the
Yeah.
biggest thing people have when they start something, they don't finish it because that newness goes away and they don't feel like doing it anymore.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like that honeymoon kind of stage kind of drops away. Like you go get married to something, and then like get home and it's like the honeymoon.
Mm-hmm.
It's not so easy as I thought. Like I was, and you got to put that effort in, and that's you follow through. Like you start and you finish. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
commendable, and I respect that a lot.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, the drive is, like I said, I think to touch on case of what he was talking about is like we look at things a different way. I feel like as athletes, because we all our life we've grown up to putting 100% into our sports, into our lives. That's just how we think. That's our mentality. But there's also people out there that probably think to themselves like, I don't know what to do with my life. Not necessarily because you're not an athlete, but just because this accident kind of, I mean, it kind of defines you a little bit. Like it's just like I would say like a day in the life of anybody is like if something happens, you got to pivot and you got to try to figure out something in your life that's gonna make you stronger and it's just gonna be passionate. You know what I mean? So that is definitely what drives me and drives, I believe, you is the same at the same time, correct?
It is, just that passion, just that commitment to excellence and not failing. I'm always been the person when I let somebody down, it bothers me. Like when I don't do my job, when
Yeah.
balls in my court and I drop the ball, that eats at me. It'll eat at me all day, all night, time. And I don't like that feeling. I like to feel good. I like to be happy. So if there's a task that I need to handle, you can trust me. You can rely on me to get the job done because I'm going to give it my best. And yes, sometimes you fall short, yes, but you learn from it, and then you give it. You try to pivot from that and come up with a plan next time to succeed.
That's it. So
Perfect.
with you just so you kind of started a podcast right around the time we started a podcast, and like saw, dude, the guests you got, man, amazing. Have you had any? I've seen like any highlights or anything that you want to shout, like bring out, or because you've had
Yeah.
some awesome. Looks like you're just having the time of your life, man, chatting up with these peeps.
Now this is what I always say. People ask me when my injury happened, like, what do you wish like you could go back to that moment? And I always say, yeah, do I like being paralyzed? Hell no. I like this? No. But things that have happened after, the places I've gotten to go, the things I've gotten to do, and the people I've gotten to meet, I can't take that back, those moments. And when I start up my podcast and I call upon those people, they showed up, Brian Cranston, Carly Lloyd, Paul
Yeah,
Rager, Brian Clark, Triple H, Michael Strahan. Like, they came to, there for me to, to be a part of my podcast. And I'm just so thankful for them to be able to share their stories and hear some of the craziness, like Brian Cranston talk about it. APB's out for him and his brother for
what?
murder and stuff like that. Hell, Triple H just talking about being a heel in the WWE and Carly Lloyd's life and how she's been able to pivot now and her family issues
Yeah,
that she had to deal with. Like people diving in and being vulnerable. It was just a
yeah,
really cool opportunity.
yeah. That's and you went to school, Carly. You guys went to school together, right? Around that time.
She's a little bit older than me, so we went to Rutgers together, but she graduated a few years before I did.
Okay, yeah, yeah. That's cool. Yeah, no, that just sounds it's amazing. When I saw you had Triple H, I'm sitting here just dropping like the suck it sign. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, let's do it, man. That was
I hated him back in the day as a kid growing up. I hated Triple H. That's what he wanted. He was the heel.
Yeah,
yeah,
the character,
And
man.
bad guys, he could take down The Rock. He could take down Stone Cold. So
yeah. No, not Stone Cold, because Stone Cold was my boy. So yeah, I'm probably sure in the same boat. Triple H was not one of the people we wanted.
I never wanted him to win, but somehow he always found a way to
It was
do
all
it.
about 316, baby.
Go to bed angry and all.
Yeah.
Well, since we're on the subject of WWE, can you please talk about your wonderful award that they presented to you, man? Like, how did that feel, man? Like, that must have been dope because, like, as a kid, I know when I was growing up watching wrestling, man, that would have been like the coolest room to be in right there. I'm not gonna lie to
Yeah.
you.
Tell you what, man, that was just magical moment. I was, presented with the Warrior Award and inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2017. So we got to go down to Orlando to WrestleMania, and I remember I said, I was with my boys. I'm like, my goal is I just want to take a shot with Ric Flair. Like that's my goal. of the whole trip, and it literally happened in the first half hour of being there.
Oh,
Hotel, and guess who's at the bar?
Oh man,
woo!
that's awesome.
So we roll over there, and he goes, "Eric, you're drinking?" I'm like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "Yeah, of course." He goes, "All right, double jack, let's go." I'm like, "Oh shoot,
Oh,
here we go." And yeah, next thing you know, man, with Ric Flair at the bar all night. And then just like the characters are walking by, like you look up to your idolize, just walking
yeah.
through the hotel with their luggage all casually and stuff like that. You're like, what the hell is going on? And then you get to go on stage with them and they announce your name in front of, 80,000 people and they scream and they cheer for
Yeah.
you. Like that was a special moment. Then you come back in and backstage, Vince McMahon and the Road Dogg are back there like controlling this show. The Hardy Boys show up and they were like, yeah, I was like, oh my god, like the Hardy Boys, and they give me a hug. And they were surprised guests. No one knew that they were coming. So I sprinted back up to the suite they had us in, like flying through, dipping in and out, and then their music dropping, the pop in that stadium that night was just insane.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh man, that's such a cool experience right there, man.
The
Oh,
first 30 minutes of the trip, you already accomplished the goal that you wanted.
Sure did. Yeah, I wish known it was going to happen that fast, but it was.
Man, like now I got to see what now I got to go see what else I can go crush here at this. Make some more memories.
you're like, yo, how can I get into WrestleMania? Hey Vince, come here for a second. I gotta talk to you. We got something out here. Oh man, that's awesome, man. I know for sure would definitely have to pinch myself, be like, dude, I'm in the wrong place right now. I do
Yeah.
I found the right building. Can somebody like pinch me a little bit just to make sure I'm still awake? Like
It was definitely an insane moment and something that I'll never forget. My friends and I would still talk about it here and there, a few times a month, probably in our group chat, just about
Yeah.
the stories from that weekend.
Yeah, no, from outside looking in, it looks like you have, you have an amazing support system. And I'm sure, like, I know I wouldn't be where I am today without them. And I just know whenever I see like you go out, you have like a pot, you have your boy, you have your squad, you know what I mean? Like that is that's beautiful, like to see like because our friends still, they don't see us as, an injured person. They just see us as their friend. Like we're going to chill at this club with Eric tonight. Like there was a girl that I'm friends with, no names required. Uh, she was at some club in New Jersey, and then all of a sudden she's like this room just it like the light went on somebody, and there was just somebody rolled in, and then it was you. Like she hit me, she's like, "Oh, do you know this guy?" And I'm like, I mean, like I don't know him, no. I'm like, but we chatted a while. She was just like, the moment he rolled in the room, it was like all eyes, all the attention, everybody was all on him and his boys. It was just like they took over the club. I was just like, I mean, from the pictures, that's exactly what it looks like.
They usually, obviously, coming in, you know what it is when you go in somewhere with a wheelchair. Most of the time, people will look at you
Yeah,
anyway. But
yeah,
then
yeah,
come in rolling deep probably has. We used to do. Usually, people are like, "What's going on?" And then being in New Jersey, they always like, "Oh, that's the Rutgers guy," and then they point and stare. And some
yeah,
might
yeah.
come, so what's up? Take a picture. Some might buy you a drink, and that's how it usually goes when we're out and about. It's just always a good times. People just usually most people show love, which is cool to see.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, hey, like I'm not gonna lie, I haven't paid for a drink in a while. Like it's I don't know if you experience the same thing. It's usually like
Just this past weekend, I was out at a bar and somebody dropped off a bucket of some tequila sodas. And
oh
the boys got down with that.
yeah, it's like thank you so much. Yeah, I just had my 10-year anniversary. Little like I had to get together at a brewery, and yeah, I got to learn how to say no. I'll tell you that. I, it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. When you're having a good time and your friends are around, you're not really. It's like, yeah, sure, you can buy me a drink. Oh yeah, sure. And then it's just like at the end of the night, it's like, wait a minute, I said yes too much.
Keep up, kids, man. I'm 12, 13 deep of that LeGrand whiskey, baby.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. The LeGrand whiskey, very smooth, baby, very smooth. I'm not a dark whiskey like a liquor guy or a whiskey, but that'll be something that I will be purchasing again, my friend.
It goes down nice, which I want.
It goes.
I don't want nothing that's gonna burn your chest. And when you like take one sip, you're like, I can't do no more. I want something.
Yeah.
You know what? Wasn't bad. Let me get another one.
Yeah,
and another one.
Yeah, because it's very, very smooth. Like if you have Jack or something else dark, it usually kind of like you'll be like a little bit with that. But this is just. Let me tell you, that was all me and one of my boys. We did that watching the UFC fight. We were just going back, watching shots, watching the UFC fight
I
together.
like that, man. That's a good night right there.
Yeah, that's perfect, man.
Definitely sounds like a good time, just going out with your boys, just like Kay said, like I think it's the most fun when you have people around you that are your boys from, like, from when you're young, and like, like they know you in and out, and they treat you, with respect, just like, how everybody should treat you, but at the same time they just know you like deeper than, what I mean, what other people see. So that's dope that you can go out and enjoy, you know doing things. And that's one thing I like to bond too, because a lot of people that I online and everything, and people are very depressed in this kind of lifestyle, because they're like, what do I do with my life? Where am I going to go? What am I, how am I going to get there? And like, these are things that I'm always constantly reading. And I try to chime in once in a while, and, spread some positivity. And like I said, I believe that we, a collective group here, we seem to spread that word. And that's why I love that you came on this podcast, because that's what we're about, man. We're about spreading love, and we need to definitely push this more forward with everyone, you know what I mean, especially in our community.
Yeah, no doubt. And, there's about 14 of my friends were in a group message, and we literally talk shit to each other all day, every day.
Yeah,
If anybody ever message, I'm like, yo, what is wrong with that
it's
group?
like it's like in this group chat.
Exactly. So, yeah, exactly. So it's cool. And like, when I call them, they show up for all the things that I have going on in my life.
Yeah,
I'm just so thankful that they're there for me to help.
That's
yeah,
awesome, dude.
that's exactly how I felt this weekend. Like, it was a lot of people who showed up from my past who I haven't seen in a while, but once you see them, it's like you haven't hasn't nothing time hasn't changed. Like, it's like we were little. It was like literally we were at like again, like just talking shit about like whatever was going on that day, and I haven't. It was just that's when you know the real. Those are the people. And even not saying the people you meet along the way are not there, but it's just a different kind of feel.
Different vibe.
Yeah, different little vibe.
Absolutely.
All right, I like to pivot a little bit, because I don't know if you noticed, but Casey's rocking our merch right there, sitting tall, podcast.
What up, dog?
And I noticed that you also have your own clothing line. You want to speak a little bit about that, because I think it's a dope line, man.
Yeah, Shop 52. We started that in 2019. And, the main goal was wanted to be able to share messages through apparel and things of that nature. And, first concept, we wanted to be cool. We really wanted to be something that took off. And, we came up with the role model for something that represented me. But
Yeah,
we're not going to spell it the natural way, ROLE, because it fits me rolling, because I'm obviously in a wheelchair. So ROLL. But my friend was like, you got to change the O to a handicap sign. And I was just like, yo, that's gold. That's gold. Anyway, we did it, and I sent a few T-shirts out to some friends of my business partner, Nicole, on it. She was telling me, like, Eric, I only purchased 52 at the first, because I didn't know how they were going to go. Like, I'll buy 52, my number will be something cool like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they sold out in like 20 minutes, and I was like, oh, and she goes, see, I told you, stupid. Stupid. I was like, whoops, I didn't decide to like re-up and all this stuff, and it just really took off. And I haven't been doing it as much now because of my coffee and whiskey, but we came up with a few concepts, different T-shirts and apparel and things like that. So cool to be able to get that message out there, though.
Yeah, I love when that came
still
out.
rocking it. Cool to see it.
Oh, I have a role model shirt in my drawer. Just I didn't want to fanboy out in the on the podcast. So I was because I saw that because like that I like me and my sister always mess around with like like with the handicap symbol, like trying to like because I have like a little logo representing like we all come up with like our own little spiel. So when I saw, I was like, yo, that it was so clever. Just a little, you don't even handicap symbol where O is, and it's just like it changed the whole like the shirt like so much more dope. You know what I mean? Like because that's we all became role models whether we like it or not. Like we, especially someone like yourself, like you were in the spotlight. You know what I mean? Like you got heard on national television. So like people, or I know you have tons of people reaching out and just random folks, and you gotta, you might not be in the mood to, but you might have to, message them back or like, just. It was like, bam, you thrust into this role, like, and I feel like, man, literally fanboy out, like literally. That's why I said you're quad father because like I see what you're doing, and I'm trying to do footsteps, you know what I mean, or follow your prints that we roll by, you know what I'm saying, since we roll right behind
Follow
each other.
his treads.
Follow the treads, baby.
Yeah,
That's
follow
it.
the treads, man.
Follow your treads.
And that's exactly what I'm here to do. Pave a pathway to show that yes, this happened, but life still can be good. It can still be, prosperous, and you can do so many things. Lean on your support system, the people around you, and just go out there every day with an attitude, just kind of like an attitude of gratitude type, and who knows what you can accomplish.
Yeah.
I got a question for you, man. Because, like I said, we know that you do a lot in your life, and I just want to know, man, how do you balance all this stuff in your daily life, like all these things? Because you have a coffee shop, you have your own whiskey, you have your we just talked about your own clothing, and like you also do the foundation, I'm assuming. So, like, how do you balance these things out?
Yeah, without this, my phone's right, man. Oh yeah, I would be lost without my calendar. But I try to schedule things, and obviously when I have to go places, scheduling around other people's schedules, which is also hard too, between my mother and my
Yeah.
friends, my family members. Like, that's tough. But I always say, like, I'm not mad scientist. When they have all those different equations on the board and it don't make no sense, and then you look at the bottom right corner and then you got the answer.
Hmm.
That's my life. Every day is different. I love when people ask me, like, what is a day in the life of Eric LeGrand? I'm just like, every day is different. And I
Yeah.
got something going on every different day, and that's how I like my life. I have my routines, but I don't like the same exact routine Monday through Friday every single day. Like, I
Yeah.
like to switch things up. I like to go off the fly, kind of react to situations sometimes. So my life is all over the place, but like I said, without my calendar, like there's
Yeah.
certain things that I have to do, have to be at and stuff like that. But I
So
love it.
it's little like organized chaos.
Yeah, pretty much is. Or like I have my things I have to be at, things that meetings, appearances, and speaking engagements, or something like that. That's all there. But other than that, you never know what may happen throughout the day.
You never know where
Hmm.
Eric might end up at the end of the day.
Hmm.
I know you never know. I might end up down the shore, partying at a party.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
felt spontaneous and said, "Let's go."
I love that because it's great that because like I had a really hard time in the beginning with dealing with the lack of spontaneous things in my life, just because usually like it's, oh, I got to figure out a ride, I got to figure out this, I got to figure out that, so it's like all these things, and just like when you see other people who going through similar situations and like like, oh look, he's at the club, he's at the bar, like why can't I do that? And like that, like seeing you go out and like just be yourself and just enjoy time with your friends, that inspired me to like went to my first bar after I saw you out. I was like, all right, this ain't so bad. I was like, I mean, minus the people who thought, like, came up to me and said thank you for your service. I was just like,
Yeah,
I was like, I was at first, I was just like, all right, what
You're
do I
like, wait a
say,
minute,
what do
what
I say? I
surface?
was like, wait, I was like, because I was a little intoxicated, so I was just like, you're welcome. Because he had a shot for me. I was like, oh, thank you. Like I didn't know how to say it. I was just like, and then at the end of the night, I was like, hey man, I was like, I was not no service. He's like, oh, I was like, I saw the chair, and I was like, man, I was like, I guess.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the assumptions you get when we go out. People come up to me, shake my hand, thinking
Yeah,
that I have to shake their hand and getting upset that I can and stuff like that.
yeah,
That's why we're here to educate me out and show people that. And
yeah.
they
yeah.
can't take my friends can't stand them when they walk up to them and say, "Can we talk to him?" They're like,
Oh
"He has
my,
a mouth. Go ahead."
that's the
No, you cannot.
worst. Or you at like a restaurant and somebody's like, what would he like to drink? I'm just like, I don't. You ask him.
I know, right?
My friends get pissed. Yeah, they
Yeah,
walk
so
away.
it's my family too.
I think we're all in the same boat when it comes to that because that happens to us all the time, and it's just so annoying. It's like we're not broken, man. We're the same people we were. It's just we're just living life a little differently. That's all.
Yeah,
And for people that don't know, I mean, like, is it really that difficult to approach us just because we're in a wheelchair? Like, we're still like our lucky selves. I mean, not all of us are like that, but most
yeah,
of us are. You know what I mean? Like, we're all pretty open to like just having a conversation and enjoying life.
yeah.
Absolutely.
It's like a lot of it has education. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like I feel like now that everything's so online and like there's YouTube and all these kind of things that people want to learn about something, they can learn about something. And
Mhm.
like for us, like I try not to get upset if somebody like because I try
Yeah,
to
I
think
don't
about it like my eyes, like I don't. I don't know if when I saw somebody in the wheelchair before my accident, like I was curious, like I might have stared a little bit, like it's like I try not to take it because I don't. It's not usually out of disrespect. It's usually just somebody's just like, oh, I wonder what happened to that person, or I wonder what's wrong, like, or okay, like. So I try to put myself in their shoes per se. You know what I mean?
absolutely. I hear you. I don't get upset at all.
Yeah.
I just educate and keep it moving because pre-injury, I had no idea about spinal cord injuries or what that entailed. So I get it.
All. Like I thought when every time you see a movie, somebody breaks their neck, it's see you later. That's the end of their in that movie. Like I didn't know there was this whole world that is available for us. And, I'm thankful for the Christopher and Dana Marie Foundation that you're a part of because that had a lot to do with the education that I had re-educating myself about like my new world, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, that's what they're there for, and that's how they help so many individuals in the paralysis community. And
Yeah.
it's grateful that I'm very grateful that we have one.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, it's great to know that there's a lot of information out there too that people like I said, us, like when first coming out, you don't know anything about, being having a spinal cord injury. So like you're kind of like going through life like trying to figure it out as we go also, you know what I mean? Because not everybody's the same, you know what I mean? Like your routine might be different than Casey's routine and my routine is definitely different from yours, but we all figure it out as we go on. And just like you said, it's all about just educating people and letting them know that like, this is how I might be a little late to the party, but I'm still coming to the party, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a little bit different. Everyone's injury is different, but we still make it, and you respect the fact that we are here, even though we had to go maybe a whole roundabout way to get there, but we made it.
Yeah. Yeah, because people don't understand. Like, at least I know, Tony, you're a paraplegic, so it's a little different with the hands and stuff. But like for people in Eric and myself situation, it's like it takes a little while to get dressed and cleaned up and to get it takes a village. And what'd you say?
2.5 hours every morning.
Yeah, man, that's literally two. That's exactly the same amount of time it takes for me in the morning. 2.5 hours it takes us. That's just to get into the wheelchair. That doesn't even include anything else. That's just literally getting up and getting cleaned and getting dressed in the chair. And and that's what I feel people. It's good that they can hear us talking about it. But as we're winding down here, me and Tony always try to ask people like what. I mean, we kind of touched on it earlier, but like, what advice would you give somebody who's going through something? Because I'm sure you've mentored people in the past, because I have as well. And it's like, what advice would you give somebody newly going through like a diagnosis of paralysis?
I would say don't focus on the things that you don't have. Be appreciative for the things that you do have. And if it's something that you really want, obviously, nothing's guaranteed, but you work your butt off to get it. You lean on your support system around you. No matter how bad your situation may be, there's always someone that's going through something worse. So we have to appreciate those little things in life, because a lot of times we take them for granted, especially pre-injury. Then after injury, we open up our eyes to a whole different world. But you got to see what you do have, and because there's a lot of people that, it's crazy to say, that to be in your situation actually.
Yeah.
When you can put all that pity aside and all the bitterness and the struggle, which people, you need that grieving period, but there's ways you got to pull yourself back up and still live your life to the fullest. Even if you only have that one person to lean on, do it, and don't be afraid to ask for help.
I love that. Yes, don't be afraid. Like, don't be for help. That's 100%. Like, because without the help, who knows? And Tone, you got anything you want to add up in here?
So yeah, we pretty much touched upon everything I think we wanted to talk about with you. Like I said, I'm very grateful for you to be on, our podcast with the small guys in the world, you know what I mean? But we're trying to do that thing. You know what I mean?
On, man.
We're all humans, man. We may
Listen,
just know a few more people than others, but we're all still the same, living, breathing humans on Earth.
Yeah,
that's
man.
That's my quad father. That's quad son. And this is what we just got baptized in fire, baby.
And well, I mean, I do want to sneak a little something in here, because me and Case were talking about it before you came on. You do have a podcast. It's called what is it? A Cup
of Belief.
Of Belief. It's awesome. I love that you're doing it also. And maybe you might want to have us on there for a little bit of an interview too. You know what I mean? Just saying, because I feel like we could talk up to, you know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
We wrapped up season 1, so who knows what season 2 is, where's ahead of us. But
love it.
We're interested as
yeah, man. Keep it going, right? Yeah.
And just wanted to give a nice little shout out to our sponsor, Seven Bros Apparel. We're gonna hopefully see if we can start getting these sold out there. They're a nice little sporting company. They're kind of like feel like a nice on. I feel like I'm about to go play a sport or something.
You're about to go play some soccer.
Yeah, and then also I just want to shout out all your things. You got the LeGrand whiskey, you got the LeGrand Coffee House, you got the Shop 52. Man, hold on a second. Let me catch my breath for a second.
And back at it.
But it's been a pleasure to actually get put our voices to our faces and our post, and appreciate you coming on the show. And this has been another episode of the podcast Sitting Tall. Oh wait, is that how do we still? Oh,
man, we haven't ended it like that for a long time.
came up with a pretty cool ending, Eric. And Tony doesn't really enjoy it. I was thinking at the end we go like this. You know what I'm saying? You'd be like, I'm Casey Ellen.
I'm Tony Chamberlain, and this is.
We are.
Oh,
you know we're saying?
Yeah.
we sit tall.
A little corny, cheesy.
Sitting tall can't fall, baby.
But
bam, sitting tall can't fall. That's the slogan.
Oh my God!
And
No, you know what?
There was a saying where there was back in 2006 where it was, "I stand tall, I stand tall. We sitting tall, we can't fall." So there we go.
See, look, it's kismet. That it was meant to be that we were gonna chat with my man Eric.
It wasn't meant to be, I guess. But I do like the way we've been ending things lately with a little bit of a tune. Do you got something a little something?
Oh, you wanna?
We gotta end with a little groove, man. You know what I mean? Something to take us out, because I feel like this is like our thing now. You know what I mean? So just in case you don't know, Eric, we kind of like to end it with he throws on a tune that he has kind of.
It's on the Riverside. This little music thing. You can do all the stuff, and they got
any Bad Bunny on it?
Right, Bad Bunny. We need to talk to these people, man. We need to get some good stuff on here. But we throw up a tune and we kind of just give a little jig, do your thing, show that side of you, you know what I mean? Because me and Case like to jam out, man. We love music, so
I like to rock out,
Yeah, man. I
always rock out, man. I'm always having a good time.
We got what we got here. We got a little. Oh, is it a little? Oh, shit.
Okay. Hey, okay.
Go side.
I like it.
What happened?
Said my mom's about to come in here moonwalking to that 70s disco.
Oh yeah, I know. They got the media side on this Riverside thing. You can clap, you can cheer, all types of stuff. But hey, man, once again, man, appreciate you coming out and taking time. I know you got the crazy schedule, and it's been a pleasure, man. Episode probably won't come out for a month or so. Just we're a little backlogged, but just it's been a good time, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much for coming on.
No problem, guys. I appreciate you.
All right, man. Let's wrap it up.